If you've been in this game long enough, you've probably got at least one tale you'd wish to take back. That moment of, why on earth did I sell that? Still stings many years later. I know the feeling. I watched a friend part with a spotless early Colt Python for what he thought was good market money, only to see the same gun fetch nearly double at an auction half a year later. That's not just bad luck. It's the kind of misstep that keeps you tossing and turning all night. Some revolvers are more than just steel, walnut, and a coat of blue. They're rolling chapters of history. Once they're out of your safe, you might never get another shot at owning one. These aren't range beaters you swap out for something shiny. These are the ones you hang on to, pass down, and watch increase in value faster than most folks' stock portfolios. So today, we're counting down 12 legendary wheel guns, some famous, some you might have never held, that you'll regret selling the second they're gone. Trust me, if you think you'll find another one later, you might end up with a very pricey surprise. Colt Diamondback. From 1966 to 1988, Colt produced what many collectors now call the Python's little sibling, the Diamondback, a revolver that mixed the prestige and craftsmanship of Colt's top lineup with a frame small enough to actually carry. Offered in both .38 Special and .22 Long Rifle, the Diamondback was built on Colt's D-frame but dressed to impress. Ventilated rib, full-length barrel underlug, adjustable target sights, and a hand-fitted action that gave a smooth, crisp trigger pull. The idea was simple. Take the quality and feel of the famous Python and put it in a lighter, more practical revolver for both defensive carry and target shooting. It came in barrel lengths from 2.5 to 6 inches, with rich royal blue finishes or shiny nickel plating and the same Colt-level fit and finish that modern machines still struggle to match. The .38 Special versions appeal to serious shooters wanting a manageable, accurate sidearm, while the .22 LR models became favorites for affordable target work and as training revolvers that mirrored their centerfire counterparts. In a time when many revolvers were purely practical, the Diamondback managed to blend elegance and performance in a way that made it stand out. That's exactly why its value has soared since production ended. The strengths are clear. Python quality action in a lighter, more carry-friendly frame, outstanding accuracy thanks to the ventilated rib and fully adjustable sights, multiple calibers and barrel lengths for different rolls, and craftsmanship that has now vanished from mass production. But there are drawbacks. Collector demand has pushed prices high, especially for mint condition examples, and the small frame isn't ideal for a steady diet of heavy .38 Special loads. Parts for repairs require a skilled Colt gunsmith, and finish quality can range between production years. Today, .38 Special models in good condition often command $1,500 to $3,200, while the .22 LR versions bring $1,200 to $1,800, with pristine boxed examples or rare barrel lengths fetching even more. The simple truth: once you let a clean Diamondback go, replacing it will hurt your wallet much more than it did the day you sold it. Dan Wesson 357 Maximum SuperMag. In the early 1980s, Dan Wesson Arms set out to push revolvers into new territory. The result was the 357 Maximum SuperMag, a revolver chambered for an experimental cartridge so powerful it made the standard 357 Magnum seem like a .22 in comparison. It stretched the Magnum case to 1.605 inches and packed enough powder to drive 158 to 180 grain bullets at speeds akin to a rifle, designed to offer handgun hunters a flatter shot and more energy at far range than anything else in its class. Fired from a long-barreled revolver, it could reach 1,800 feet per second, numbers unheard of for a wheel gun at the time. The revolver itself carried Dan Wesson's signature interchangeable barrel system, meaning a single frame could be swapped with multiple barrel lengths and shrouds, from a handy 6-inch barrel to a massive 10 or 12-inch hunting setup. Each barrel was tensioned for accuracy, and the heavy shrouds helped manage recoil from the hot 357 maximum loads. Built on a reinforced large frame, the SuperMag could handle the extreme pressures without the loosening or timing issues that lighter designs faced. Its strengths were clear. It was the only production revolver ever chambered in .357 maximum, offering true rifle-like performance from a handgun. The interchangeable barrel system made it incredibly adaptable. and the limited production numbers guaranteed collectability from the start. But there were issues. The intense pressures caused flame cutting of the top strap with lighter bullets, which scared many shooters away. Ammunition was costly and quickly became scarce after the cartridge's short commercial life, meaning hand-loading is almost a must today. The unique barrel system also requires special tools, which can intimidate casual owners, and holster options are limited due to its bulk and non-standard barrel shapes. These days, complete multi-barrel sets in good shape often fetch $1,800 to $3,500, while rare barrel lengths or factory presentation cases can drive prices even higher. If you let one go, you're giving up a piece of handgun history. The brief time when revolvers flirted with rifle ballistics, and you'll have a hard time finding another in such complete form. Colt Officer's Model Match. From its debut in the early 20th century to its retirement in 1969, the Colt Officer's Model Match set the gold standard for revolver accuracy. Built for competitive target shooting, this revolver was the pick of champions at Camp Perry and in police pistol matches for decades. Every single piece was hand-fitted by Colt's master gunsmiths with such precision that today's advanced machines still struggle to replicate them. The trigger pull was as smooth as glass, the timing flawless, and the lockup felt as secure as a bank vault. With adjustable target sights, a wide target hammer, and a competition-tuned action, the Officer's Model Match was crafted to punch the smallest groups possible at 25 and 50 yards. It was offered in several versions over its long production life, including pre-war and post-war models, each with its own collector following. The earlier guns often featured color case-hardened frames and richly blued barrels, while later versions brought refinements to sight systems and ergonomics. Many came chambered in .38 Special, though a few rarer specimens were made in .22 LR for rimfire competition. Regardless, they were built with unwavering attention to detail. The strengths are obvious. Unmatched out-of-the-box accuracy proven in decades of competition, handcrafted precision that's impossible to find in today's production revolvers, and historical significance as the dominant contest wheel gun of its era. But there are trade-offs. The full target configuration makes it impractical for concealed carry. The adjustable sights are delicate and can be damaged if mishandled, and the light target trigger isn't suited for defensive use. Finding original parts for restoration can be challenging, especially if you want to keep it factory correct. Today, post-war examples typically run $1,800 to $3,800, with pre-war models, particularly in excellent condition, easily breaking the $4,000 barrier. Selling one isn't just losing a piece of target shooting history. It's parting with a revolver that will outshoot most modern handguns straight out of the box, and whose craftsmanship isn't being matched anymore. Manurhin MR73. If there's such a thing as a Special Forces-grade revolver, the Manurhin MR73 is it. Made in France starting in 1973, this revolver was designed specifically for the GIGN, the elite counterterrorism and hostage rescue unit of the
French National Gendarmerie. The contract specs were brutally demanding. The gun had to deliver sub-2-inch groups at 50 meters, withstand unlimited dry-fire practice, and keep flawless timing under tens of thousands of full-power .357 Magnum rounds. Manurhin didn't just meet those requirements, they exceeded them. Dynamite. The MR73 is built like a precision instrument. Cold hammer-forged barrels offer match-grade accuracy right from the factory. The action is meticulously hand-fitted and adjustable for trigger weight in both single and double action, allowing an operator to fine-tune it for duty or competition. The steel is specially heat-treated for exceptional wear resistance, giving the revolver a service life that can stretch past 100,000 rounds without loosening up. Every gun is test-fired extensively before it leaves the factory, and the fit and finish rival anything out of Switzerland or Germany. Dynamite. Its strengths are almost overkill for civilian use. Exceptional accuracy that rivals custom competition guns, extreme durability under prolonged Magnum use, and the prestige of being the sidearm of one of the world's most respected tactical units. But it's not without downsides. Import numbers into the U.S. have always been low, so parts and service can require long waits and international sourcing. Metric specifications can complicate work for American gunsmiths, and the price tag reflects both the quality and the rarity. On today's market, MR73s in good condition generally run $2,800 to $4,500, with rare configurations or early GIGN mark guns easily topping $5,000. Selling one isn't just losing a revolver. It's giving up one of the most overbuilt, combat-proven wheel guns ever made. A piece of engineering that may never be matched in the revolver world again.
Colt Single Action Army. If there's a single revolver that defines the American West, it's the Colt Single Action Army. First rolled out in 1873 and produced in its first-generation form until 1940, this was more than just a sidearm. It was the standard-issue U.S. cavalry revolver, the trusted companion of ranchers, lawmen, and outlaws alike. Chambered in .45 Colt and crafted with individual hand-fitting by skilled artisans, every first-generation SAA captures a level of old-world craftsmanship that's hard to replicate today. These guns were built in an era before advanced machining, when each frame, cylinder, and barrel was filed, stoned, and polished to fit by human hands. The case-hardened frames exhibit unique swirling color patterns that make each revolver a one-of-a-kind piece of art. Serial numbers are meticulously tracked, allowing collectors to pinpoint exact production dates and original configurations. Many examples have direct links to frontier lawmen, military service, or historical events, making them not just firearms, but tangible artifacts of American history. The strengths of a first-generation SAA are evident: unparalleled historical value, craftsmanship that has endured for over a century, and long-lasting shootability for those willing to use appropriate loads. But they come with their share of cautions. Original examples are fragile by current standards. Black powder-era metallurgy limits ammunition choices, and the market is rife with refinished guns and outright counterfeits, requiring expert validation before purchase. Today, even rough condition examples often begin around $5,000 or more, with clean, all-original guns easily reaching $10,000 to $15,000 and documented historically significant pieces commanding far more. Selling a first-generation SAA isn't just parting with a revolver. It's letting go of a piece of the Old West, a direct link to a time and place that shaped both American culture and the legend of the six-gun itself. Smith and Wesson Model 29. When Smith and Wesson debuted the Model 29 in 1955, they weren't aiming to craft a Hollywood icon. They were building the most powerful production handgun in the world. Chambered in .44 Magnum, it was designed for serious outdoors folk and handgun hunters who needed the stopping power usually reserved for rifles. Firing a 240-grain bullet at around 1,400 feet per second, the Model 29 could bring down big game or halt a charging bear, and it did so with style. Built on the massive end frame, with deeply polished bluing or shiny nickel finishes and adjustable target sights, it was as beautiful as it was forceful. For the first 18 years, the Model 29 was a well-kept secret among dedicated shooters. That changed overnight in 1971 when Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry hit theaters. Suddenly, the revolver that was once a niche hunting tool became a cultural phenomenon. Demand spiked so hard that S&W couldn't keep up, and prices for used guns outpaced the cost of new ones, a rarity in the firearms world. Collectors today still prize early pre-Dirty Harry production guns for their finish quality, hand-fitting, and lower production numbers. Its strengths are obvious: massive stopping power in a revolver, classic end-frame balance, movie star fame making it instantly recognizable, and a collector following that has kept values strong for decades. Yet it's not without downsides. Full-power .44 Magnum loads pack a heavy recoil and a notable muzzle blast, particularly from shorter barrels. Premium ammunition can run $3 or more per round, and the big frame and long barrel options make it impractical for most concealed carry. Today, shooter-grade examples start around $1,200, while clean early production pieces with boxes and papers often reach $2,800 or more. Rare barrel lengths and special editions can climb higher. Selling one, especially a pre-1971 example, isn't just letting go of a revolver. It's parting with a piece of firearms history, a gun that permanently changed both the shooting world and popular culture. Ruger Security 6. When Ruger rolled out the Security 6 in 1972, they weren't chasing high-polished collector pieces. They were crafting a workhorse that could be relied upon in the toughest conditions. This was the first Ruger revolver built specifically for the .357 Magnum, unlike other models which just enlarged a .38 special frame. That engineering move meant it could devour a steady stream of powerful Magnum rounds for decades without losing its timing or loosening up. It quickly earned a reputation with law enforcement folks across the U.S. and beyond simply because it kept on working. Rain, mud, sand, heat, cold, none of it mattered. Squeeze the trigger, and it went bang. Inside, Ruger used music wire coil springs that were tougher than the flat springs in rival designs. Combined with a simplified action that had fewer weak points, the transfer bar safety let officers carry it fully loaded without worry of an accidental discharge if the hammer got a hit. True to Ruger's rugged style, the frame was investment cast to be intensely strong, giving that hefty feel in the hand. Barrel options ranged from a discreet 2.75-inch snub for plainclothes use, a 4-inch duty length, to a 6-inch version for aiming at targets or hunting, with both blued and stainless finishes available. Its strengths lie in sheer durability, unlimited magnum endurance, proven reliability in real-world situations, and a variety of configurations that appeal to both shooters and collectors. The safety system is confidence-inspiring, and the design's mechanical simplicity makes it easier to care for than many of its flashier rivals. That said, its straightforward looks can't match the visual appeal of a Colt Python or a Smith and Wesson Model 27. The factory trigger pull is on the hefty side compared to custom-tuned revolvers. Fixed sight versions restrict long-distance precision, and the aftermarket support isn't as rich as the more glamorous brands. On today's market, standard examples can still be found in the $650 to $900 range, while rarer stainless models with adjustable sights are already pushing past $1,000 and climbing. Sell one now, and you might end up paying double to get it back in a few years, assuming you can even find one. Freedom Arms Model 83. Introduced in the early 1980s, the Freedom Arms Model 83 wasn't just another revolver. It was a statement piece for the serious big-bore handgunner. Made in small batches in Freedom, Wyoming, this 5-shot single-action revolver was built to handle the fierce .454 Castle cartridge, a round that delivers rifle-level energy from a handgun. Before the 500S and W Magnum showed up, the .454 Castle was king of commercial revolver power, pushing 240 to 300 grain bullets at speeds over 1,600 feet per second. In the hands of a skilled shooter, the Model 83 could cleanly take down big game, from white-tailed deer to Alaskan brown bear, and do it with precision. The construction is overbuilt in every sense. Frames are carved from stainless steel billet. Cylinders are line-bored to the barrel for perfect chamber alignment, and the lockwork is hand-fitted to bank vault tightness. The 5-shot cylinder isn't a capacity gimmick, it's a safety measure, giving each chamber more steel between rounds to contain the Casull's extreme pressures. Fit and finish reach. A level few production guns can match, with sharp single-action triggers, deeply recessed chambers, and tolerances so tight you'll barely sense a cylinder gap. Offered in multiple barrel lengths, from short packable versions to 10-inch hunting models, the Model 83 is as much a precision tool as it is a forceful instrument. Its strengths are clear: unparalleled strength and durability for high-pressure cartridges, accuracy that contends with custom target revolvers, and build quality that lasts for a lifetime or generations. On the other hand, that power comes with stout recoil. The large frame and long barrels make it impractical for daily carry, and ammo is both costly and harder to find than common calibers. Plus, the single-action operation requires practice if you want to use it swiftly and accurately. In today's market, well-kept examples generally run $2,200 to $3,500, depending on barrel length and setup, with special editions or scoped hunting packages fetching even more. Selling one of these, you're losing not just a revolver, but one of the most finely crafted big-bore handguns ever made, the kind of firearm that only appreciates in value and esteem over time. Smith and Wesson Model 57. Back in 1964, Smith and Wesson and Remington thought they had solved the eternal law enforcement balancing act. Create a cartridge with more punch than the .38 Special, but without the heavy recoil of the .44 Magnum. The result was the .41 Magnum, a round that delivered flat trajectories, deep penetration, and superior performance while still being controllable for well-trained officers. On paper, it was perfect. In practice, it was a commercial flop. Police departments stuck with the familiar .38s or later jumped straight to 9mm semi-autos, leaving the .41 Magnum to wither in obscurity. The Model 57 was the flagship revolver for this new cartridge. Built on Smith and Wesson's robust end frame, it featured adjustable target sights, a finely tuned double-action trigger, and the kind of polish S&W was famous for during its golden era. Offered in blue or nickel finishes with barrel lengths from 4 to 8.3 inches, the Model 57 matched power with precision. Handloaders appreciated the cartridge's potential, and handgun hunters found it ideal for medium game like deer and wild hogs. But with low adoption and high ammunition costs, sales remained lukewarm, making survivors relatively scarce today. Its strengths include the end frame's legendary strength and durability, a ballistics profile fitting neatly between the .357 Magnum and the .44 Magnum, and a perfect weight balance that many shooters prefer over heftier big bores. It's also a conversation starter among enthusiasts, a reminder of a nearly perfect law enforcement round that never got its chance. The downsides: factory ammo remains hard to find and pricey when you do. Factory load variety is limited compared to the more popular Magnums, and holster options can be thin due to the model's rarity. Standard examples these days often trade hands from $1,800 to $3,500, with rare barrel lengths or early production guns easily crossing the 4,000 mark. Parting from a clean Model 57 means more than letting go of a finely crafted revolver. It's saying goodbye to a piece of ballistic history, the perfect police cartridge that police didn't choose. Colt Python. When Colt introduced the Python in 1955, they didn't just launch another .357 Magnum. They unveiled what many shooters and collectors still deem the finest production revolver ever crafted. Built on Colt's I-frame, the Python was hand-fitted and tuned by the best gunsmiths in the company. Each one was inspected and adjusted until the action was silky smooth, and the lockup felt like a precision instrument. Its full underlug barrel, ventilated rib, and impeccable balance weren't just for aesthetics. They softened recoil, stabilized the sight picture, and helped achieve the kind of accuracy typically reserved for custom shotguns. Offered in barrel lengths from 2.5 inches to the iconic 6-inch target model and even out to 8 inches, the Python came in royal blue, bright nickel, and later stainless steel finishes. Every detail screamed quality, from the deep mirror-like bluing to the crisp, stack-free double-action trigger pull. For decades, it was the revolver against which all others were measured, reigning on both the competitive circuit and in serious collector's cases. Its strengths are etched in history: extraordinary out-of-the-box accuracy, hand-fitted mechanical excellence, and a level of refinement that has become too costly to replicate today. The Python's reputation also makes it a solid investment. Early production models have doubled or even tripled in value over the last decade. But owning one isn't without challenges. Parts and servicing require a gunsmith familiar with Colt's intricate V-spring action. Prices have climbed so high that many owners hesitate to shoot them regularly, and the high-gloss finish can easily show even minor handling marks. Today, shooter-grade Pythons often start around $3,000 to $4,000, while mint-condition early models, especially those with boxes and papers, easily break $6,000 and can exceed $10,000 for rare barrel lengths or finishes. Letting a clean Python go is almost always a financial mistake, and for many an emotional one because there's nothing else that feels quite like it in the hand.
Smith and Wesson Model 53. Produced from 1961 to 74, the Smith and Wesson Model 53 was one of the company's boldest experiments, and one of its most temperamental. Chambered for the .22 Remington Jet, a bottle-necked centerfire cartridge aiming to deliver rifle-like velocities from a revolver, the Model 53 could push a 40-grain bullet to over 2,100 feet per second from its 6-inch barrel. On paper, It was a groundbreaking idea. Flat shooting, high-velocity performance in a handgun small enough to carry. Da-da-ma. In practice, physics had other plans. Shooters quickly found that the .22 Jet had a nasty habit of backing out in the chamber under recoil, leading to sticky extraction or even locking up the cylinder. Smith and Wesson included chamber inserts to let the gun fire .22 LR as a backup option, but losing those inserts instantly killed collector value and utility.
Few revolvers to ever attempt true rifle performance from a handgun without resorting to a Wildcat cartridge or custom build. Its appeal today stems from its rarity, unique performance profile, and unique place in firearms history. It's a conversation piece in any collection, and complete sets with all 6 chamber inserts, factory box, and papers command a serious premium. The flip side is obvious. Ammo is scarce and expensive, the extraction issues are part of the design, and finding replacement inserts is almost impossible. On the current market, complete, well-preserved Model 53 packages usually bring $2,500 to $5,000, with pristine early production examples pushing even higher. Selling one means parting with a revolver that symbolizes a fascinating what-if moment in handgun development, a concept that dared to stretch revolver ballistics into rifle territory, even if it couldn't quite tame the laws of physics. Smith and Wesson Model 27. Introduced in 1935, the Smith and Wesson Model 27 wasn't just another revolver. It was the advent of the .357 Magnum itself, a cartridge that would set the standard for revolver performance for years to come. Built on Smith and Wesson's large end frame and hand-fitted to a level that rivaled custom guns, the Model 27 was a prestige piece from the start. It wasn't just assembled, it was crafted, with each gun put together and tuned by master craftsmen to ensure flawless timing, vault-like lockup, and accuracy that could embarrass a target pistol. The original registered Magnum program made each early gun a custom order, with the buyer able to choose barrel length, sight configuration, and finish. Every registered example was delivered with a certificate and a complete production record, creating a paper trail that today's collectors value. Barrel lengths range from short 3.5-inch duty guns to 8.75-inch long-range models, all with checkered top straps to cut glare, a detail few revolvers ever offered. Its strengths are obvious. Historical significance as the first .357 Magnum revolver, meticulous pre-war and early post-war craftsmanship, a wide range of configurations for collectors, and proven performance as both a duty and sporting sidearm. The drawbacks are just as evident. The most desirable early examples are costly. Authentication can be complex, and original parts for restoration are rare. Later production guns, while still excellent, don't command quite the same prestige as the early registered Magnums. But even those are climbing in value. On the current market, standard vintage Model 27s often bring $2,200 to $4,500, while documented registered Magnums regularly reach $6,000 and up, with pristine, rare barrel-length examples even pushing into 5 figures. Selling one isn't just letting go of a revolver. It's giving up the original Magnum, the revolver that wrote the first chapter in high-performance handgun history. So there you have it. 12 revolvers that aren't just firearms, but milestones in weapons history. Each one tells a story, from the raw strength of the Ruger Security 6 to the refined elegance of the Colt Python, to the unmistakable cultural impact of the Smith and Wesson Model 29. These aren't the kind of wheel guns you let go of for quick cash or trade on a whim. Once they leave your safe, the odds of finding another in the same condition at the same price are slim to none. Whether it's the history, the craftsmanship, the performance, or the investment potential, these are the guns you treasure, shoot, and pass down. The next person who gets a hold of them, they're probably not letting go. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay sharp.